Hey there, so it's Shannon again. I'm back and now I'm actually able to share my screen. Turns out, I guess you can't change from looking at yourself to looking at your other monitor once you've started live video. So who knew? Another Audible. So I'll just talk to you about each of these photos here this way, and you'll just have to remember my face from the first live video. So whatever, we'll make it work. So this is the Container Store in Rockville, Maryland. So everybody wave and say, hey, Container Store. So this is one section of the hanger collection, the hanger aisle at the Container Store. These are just your regular plastic tubular hangers that we typically find in closets, but look at the colors. They've got this rainbow of colors I just thought were amazing. So nothing really special about these hangers other than their varying colors, which I thought was fabulous and wanted to share. This is the rest of their wall of hangers, by the way. The ones that are on the right of the image here, and hopefully you can see me circling here with my cursor, these are actually ones that are flocked. They're covered in some kind of fabric. And these are, people either love them or hate them. They love them because nothing falls off these hangers. These hangers are, because of the fabric that's on them or the treatment that's on them, they're great for like the slippery shirts and the camisoles and that kind of stuff. Nothing falls off them. But also, it's harder to get regular shirts on them. So some people love them, some people hate them. Part of the reason that people love them also is because they are very thin. So you can get a whole lot of mileage out of your hanging space if you use these hangers, because they're about half the width of a typical tubular hanger. And then further down the rest of the aisle here is a wide assortment of wooden hangers and other plastic hangers. Some of them have specially designed arms on them so that you don't get the weird bumps on the shoulders of your shirts that you sometimes get, either shirts or sweaters with plastic hangers. So they have treatments for those. So again, a wall of hangers. Next one is the varying clear boxes with lids that the Container Store carries. And these are great. They come in a million different sizes, and they're, just super pretty, but they're, you can pretty much find a size for anything in here. They've got extra wide ones, extra deep ones, smaller ones. It's pretty fantastic. So I love these. I love these boxes. You can get very similar style boxes at Target and Walmart for definitely a lower price point. But these are prettier. They tend to be a little bit, cleaner looking, but they're just great and a nice assortment. I love these boxes. So these are designed to actually hold either shirts or sweaters, but you can see there's a see-through front, and then the front itself drops open. So you see the little gray tab on the top of each of the fronts. You pull that tab down and the front of the box opens up. So this is great for if you want to stack folded sweaters or you want to stack folded shirts. These are really nice to be able to do that, but the front drops open rather than having a lid that you have to take off. And they're see-through, so they're really nice for being able to keep your stacked shirts tidy, but still also be able to see what you have. So I love over-the-door organizers, these shoe organizers. And by the way, you do not have to just use these for shoes. The Container Store's got some pretty ones. They've also got some of the more typical, plastic, clear plastic ones like you'd see elsewhere. But you can use these in linen closets to hold tubes of toothpaste and extra toothbrushes, and you can use them in a kid's room to hold action figures, and you can leverage these shoe organizer, over-the-door shoe organizers for a lot more things than just shoes. So I like taking pictures or showing these as an example of something that's pretty cool. So again, anytime you can go vertical it's great to be able to do this. And so if you've got something, especially if you get one that's a little bit nicer looking, then, you know, you can have it hanging on the front of your door, and you know, you can get some extra mileage out of your door that way. So this is an example of a closet. In the Container Store, they have a whole closet design section, and they've got varying styles of closets. Some of them are, you know, wood. This one is the closed closet version of the pantry system that I showed you guys last Friday. And I'll actually show you the actual things, the pantry items that I got from this Container Store in just a minute. But this is I think I had mentioned in that segment that they have this style of system for pretty much every room of the house. What I was showing you guys was the pantry version. This is the closet version. Here's actually in platinum the closet version, or sorry, the pantry version that I showed you guys. But you can see they've got the note of the different sizes, and these are wider versions of the drawers that you would put into the system. But they've got them in platinum here as well. So they come narrow and deep. They come wide, and have the corresponding racks that go with them. Here's actually the pantry section one. So this is where we got ours. So you can see the baskets are here, you know, on the shelf. Down on the side here, you can see the different heights of the rail system. And then this hanging section that has 45, 35, 25, this is actually where you buy the cross pieces that determine the width of your system. So you pick the height, and then you pick the width, and you pick your baskets. Pretty cool. And like I had said in that previous video, they do have kits already put together for you that'll have a combination of all of this stuff. But if you want to design your own very specifically, you can go here and buy it piece by piece. This is just a collection. This is actually a great brand. It's called Lioness, so kind of like the Peanuts, you know, the Peanuts character, but it's the Lioness brand of trays to go inside drawers. Just different kinds of trays and bins that you can use them in drawers. You can use them in, you know, to store your makeup, although they do make specific ones for makeup as well. But just a really nice selection of really solid acrylic material that can be leveraged in all kinds of ways in drawers and on shelves and in refrigerators and pantries and pretty much anywhere you need a good divider or a good tray. This is a great solution. So it's the Lioness brand. This is the wall of hooks. So the first thing you see here closest to you in the picture is the wide assortment of command hooks, which are great for hanging things without damaging your walls. But usually when you go to a store that carries command, you've got, you know, one or two options. They have a whole selection of things, you know, heavy duty ones that are made to look like with a, you know, satin nickel finish, just plain white ones, little ones, big ones, etc. And then further down the wall, all different kinds of hooks that you can have along this wall here. Some of them look like artwork that are super cool. There's one way down at the end, and I should have taken a close-up picture of it. I think it's this one down here, but it's basically a whole bunch of just vertical pieces cut different lengths that you then pull out the ones you want to use as hooks. And when you're done, you can push them back. So when it's pushed back, it looks like just this really funky piece of art, but then you can actually pull the different pieces out to use as hooks, and it's pretty slick. But I love the wall of hooks. Makes me super happy. And this is just fun. So this is in their office supply section. And I'll tell you right now, if they had like a Prince purple, I would totally be doing my office in this. But, you know, inboxes, pencil trays, all kinds of stuff in these varying colors. This is just a very happy, happy aisle. Okay, this is wicked cool. And I am seriously thinking about using this in my office, although with you guys have seen the big blank wall behind me. I've thought about doing this. So these are, and they have a couple of different versions of these, but this one I think is pretty neat. It's fairly heavy duty. But you can see up here, these are tiles that you can either attach with command strips, or you can nail or screw into the wall if you want to be sure that it's, you know, super heavy duty and not going anywhere. But these are metal plates, and then all of these doodads are magnetic. So you can put, you know, a whole bunch of these plates up on the wall, and then you can put pencil cups and little dry erase boards and shelves and these little bins and baskets for various things that you know, you can use in whatever combination you want to create this, you know, wall of organization. So you don't have to put anything on your desktop. It can all be magnetically stuck to your wall. Actually, when I was over taking a picture of this, one of the Container Store employees came up and was talking to me about this. And apparently this was featured, the person who developed this was on Shark Tank and was talking about using this to do like an herb wall. And I guess that was what they were originally intending with it. And they actually had their purchase order from the Container Store as proof for the sharks that this was a viable idea. But of course here they're displaying it for the purpose of the use in the office. But I guess you can also put plants in it too. I get like this one corner up here, but you could use it in the kitchen if you wanted to have a magnetic a command center kind of thing in your kitchen. You could totally use that. You could use this in an entryway. It's super cool. I'm still trying to figure out where I want to use this, but because I think it's going to have to happen at some point. This is one of those wicked clever ones that I was talking about when I was saying yesterday about some of the products are just wicked clever. I love these. Okay, there's another, I've got a couple of things for gift wrap. Gift wrap is so unwieldy. So they have a couple of solutions here for storing your gift wrap. So in this, the one that's front and center here is tall enough to be able to hold, the lid accommodates the height of your rolls of paper, which I think are pretty cool for you to go vertical. They also had some, I didn't take pictures of it because I don't think it's as cool. They had some ones that are probably designed, to go like under a bed or something. So they are horizontal, but I like the vertical ones. I always seemed when I used to store wrapping paper, which I don't anymore, but when I used to store it, I always seem to be wanting to put it in a closet, and it's just nice to have it protected and it can stand on the floor, in the corner of a closet and not get all beat up in between seasons. Here's another, again, same, you'll if you're in the Container Store, you'll recognize this, this style of drawers, the Elfa system. Again, here's another use for it, is a gift wrapping station. It's on wheels. You can wheel it around, store your paper on the side, your bows and your bags and all kinds of stuff in the drawers there. Pretty cool. I guess I kept taking pictures of the Elfa bin system again. I'm not sure why I took this one. I don't know. We'll keep going. Oh, here it is put together. They have this actually in multiple places throughout the store. But here it is already put together. So this is one of those kits I was telling you can buy that's done up for you. This one's cool. I had to take a picture of this. So this is a section where they have a whole bunch of stuff underneath or for underneath your sink. And what I love about this, it's a pull-out tray. And actually, if you look at my story, my Facebook story, you can see me playing with it. But it pulls out. It's actually made by it's made by Lynk, L-Y-N-K, and it's the same company that does that manufactured the drawer I showed you guys, or the pull-out tray I showed you guys that I was storing my cleaning supplies on when I showed you the pantry, because those products are super heavy. So this is really durable. So the nice thing about this is it's designed to shape around your plumbing workings underneath your sink. What is that, an S-bend? I don't know. But anyway, but I love the fact that it accommodates that. Again, wicked clever. And for this, obviously, this is one of those places under the sink is one of those places where you're going to want to measure to make sure, and you're going to want to measure your obstructions. So make sure you've accommodated for your sink dropping down into your space, into that cabinet, because there's all kinds of weird things going on under there. Oh, speaking of measuring, one thing I want to show you, and I don't know if you can see it, but if you get the chance, and you'll see it in any place where you see a label, a price label at the Container Store, they include on the labels the measurements for the product, which I love. So you can double check. I still take your tape measure, but they've got it printed there for you. So you can, if you know that you need something that's, no wider than 2 feet, you can just tell right away that this will or will not work. So just wanted to point that out. But they do a nice job of labeling the dimensions of everything, which is fantastic. Oh, here's another system that I wanted to point out. It's fancier than the over-the-door shoe organizer I was talking about, but it's another way of going vertical. So the way this is intended to be set up is there's this track here that's in the middle of the picture that is in the center of the, like running down the center of your wall or the center of your door. And then these different bins attach into that. And so you can, it's pretty cool looking. People use it a lot in bathrooms. They use it a lot in pantries. And you can, add whatever components you want to in here. But it's a nice solution. It's just a single track and then very flexible, very adjustable. You can just stick the different components into the system. So that's pretty cool. Shelf risers are always a great thing to have. This is, especially if you've got either shelves that are practically impossible to move, or they might be completely built in, and you want to double your storage space within a shelf. Or it works really well if you just have a few things that you want to set above and below, and the rest of the shelf, you still want to keep it its regular height. But they have these in all different sizes and widths and heights that are really cool. They're a really simple, easy way to expand your shelf space. And then this one, I love this. So Eucopia is a really good brand, by the way. I like their stuff. We have an organizer for our pot lids that we got to help Michael out with putting away, Michael's my husband, without putting away the pot lids. I was perfectly fine with just kind of putting them in a row and sort of, layering them one on top of the other, but he couldn't keep it organized that way. So we got him a lid holder or a lid organizer. But this one's for holding saran wrap, your plastic wrap. But what I like about it is you can see these grooves here. These, the holders, actually, if you pinch them together, you can move them. So you can, adjust this. You can take them out, if you don't have that many boxes. You can take them out. You can move them around to adjust for different heights. So I really like this one. They had one, I think, next to it that was fixed. And remember, I was saying last time that one of the things I really recommend when you're getting a product is to get something that is flexible. This is a really good example of a flexible product. So, you can adjust it to accommodate whatever it is you're storing. And then I love this. So for the obviously wine holder, these are stackable trays for holding bottles of wine, but these are also awesome to use for holding water bottles. So if you are a family that has 1 million water bottles, this is a really great way to corral them in, in a cupboard. You can just get, stack some of these up. They're sold individually. So you can get a bunch of them and stack them up and use them to hold water bottles. It's a lot easier to get access and put them away without them all falling over on each other, or, you try to store them on their side, but they roll all over the cabinet. This is a nice way to corral those. But they can also be used for holding wine too, because, wine. And this is just so gorgeous. So this is their pantry container section. So they've got, different styles of containers for your pantry items. If you choose to go the route of decanting your food into containers in your pantry, this is the wall of your pantry storage solution. So they have them in plastic, and they also have them in glass. I think I have a close-up of one of the glass ones in just a second, because they're just so pretty. Oh, so again, here's that same cart system, but I'd never noticed this one before. This is designed to actually have a mini fridge sit on top of it. And I wish I used to have a mini fridge. It was actually a beer fridge. Big surprise. But I had one that I got a cart for, and the cart was fine, but it wasn't as awesome as this. I wish I'd known about this. The beer fridge, unfortunately, has gone away, but that's really cool. I just thought that was neat. Drawer organizers. So again, here's the wall of drawer organizers. So they've got, white plastic, they have clear acrylic, they've got bamboo or wooden ones, they've got metal ones. And again, all of them are labeled with their sizes. So that's really cool too. But again, lots of options for drawer organizers, which again, you can use in the kitchen, but you can use anywhere you have a drawer. And I like the ones where you can, they've got some obviously that are already it's a solid piece, that are expandable. Some of them are expandable, which is always good, because that again gives you that flexibility. But it's always, it's great if you've got a complicated set of utensils and you want to do something that's a little more custom, then you can buy the individual organizers, individual pieces, and piece it together yourself. Just make sure to, measure when you're doing that, making sure you're measuring, how big your drawer is, how high it is, but then also making sure that the pieces that you're buying actually do nest together to fit in that space. Very often when I've done purchases like this, you usually find me like laying it out on the floor and just measuring to make sure it all fits. People look at you a little strange, but that's all right. Oh, here's the wall of the glass decanters, or the glass containers. I love these. I think I said when I was looking at the spices several videos ago that there aren't very many things that I decant. I do like to do the spices, but I don't really decant anything else. That's technically not true. We actually did get one of these jars down here on the second from the bottom shelf here. It's just a clear glass container with a steel lid. We use that for sweetener. So we use a lot of stevia in our house, artificial sweetener, and that comes in these bags that are resealable, but the bags are kind of awful and flimsy to work with, and the resealable thing is kind of a pain. So we just actually pour that into the container, and then keep the container over where we actually have our coffee station. So when we're prepping our coffee, we've got the container right there. We actually pre-sweeten our coffee. So we pour fortunately my husband and I both like our coffee the same amount of sweet. So we pour our stevia into the coffee pot the night before, and then the coffee just brews on top of the stevia, and it's pre-sweetened. It's fabulous because I'm lazy at heart. So that makes life a little easier. But this container sits very nicely in with our coffee making stuff. And I think that's the last picture. It is. So that is the end of our tour. So As apparently I've now learned, I can't switch the camera once I've started recording, so can't look at you again, but imagine me waving to you as I'm saying goodbye and happy Friday. So I hope you enjoyed the tour. Again, take a look at the story, the Facebook story, take a look at the album if you want to see any of these pictures close up. But this was fun, and thanks for joining, and have a great weekend. I will see you tomorrow for our next installment of the March Facebook event. So until then, bye-bye for now. Bye, everyone.